I'm Mike Sullivan. Today I'd like to talk to you about how you can hit better shots, especially better iron shots, if you use the ground correctly in your golf swing. Okay, so today we're going to talk about how to hit just better shots overall, especially better, more solid iron shots. Okay, so if you're hitting, thin shots where you kind of scull it, you hit the ball, the club is coming up, you're hitting it on the bottom of the club face, or you're hitting fat shots where you hit the ground before you hit the ball, usually the cause of those two shots is one thing, and usually the cause is that our player who's doing that, when he hits the shot, he's either not getting pressure enough into his front foot, or he's got his pressure and or his body mass literally more towards his back foot, his or her back foot, I should say. Okay, so I have this pressure mat here all rigged up, and actually let me turn the screen recorder on here so you can see it. Okay, so now it's hooked up. So now if you look at this little graph, this shows the pressure I'm putting into the ground with my feet. So I'm going to try to get it 50% front foot and 50% back foot. All right, I'm moving around. That's about 50-50, really, really close. So here's what happens. When you hit a golf shot or throw a ball, pressure moves into the ground, hopefully, back through. So if you look at my little graph here, I'm going to get pressure in my back foot and then into my front foot. Watch how fast that moves. Boom, boom. So that's like pretty much 100% and 100%. Really, really close to it. Well, when we hit a golf shot, we want the same thing to happen. So I'm putting this in the dirt from our lesson earlier. I'll just try to hit it off the dirt here. Okay. Same sort of thing. All right, that's just a little shot. I'm not sure how much got into my back foot because it's such a small swing, but you're going to see there's a very noticeable shift of pressure from my setup position to my back foot and then to my front foot. Okay, that's a little, probably 60-yard little 7-iron punch shot. So here's what happens when someone's hitting chronically thin shots and chronically fat shots. They're not getting, I'm going to tee this up just so that I can be realistic here. So it's like hitting off a par 3. What's happening is their pressure, it stops moving forward and sometimes falls back right about at impact. So I'm going to pull that off. Okay, that was a pretty extreme example, but what should have happened there is my pressure probably moved forward a little bit, then right about at impact, boom, as I came back, the pressure went to my back foot and the club head passed my hands. That's going to give you a thin shot, or it's going to give you a fat shot. So here's what I want you to do to help fix this. And you may not have one of these pressure mats, that's understandable, but this is an impact bag. These are really inexpensive. $50 tops. I think we've got a link on our site so you can purchase one there if you'd like to. I'm going to go ahead and make this as simple as possible. I'm going to use this impact bag and the club only in my right hand. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get the shaft of this club pressing against the impact bag without the club face touching the impact bag. Watch how I'm going to do that. I could do it this way, just pushing my hand forward, but you can see that's not very realistic of how you play golf. Or I could move my hips a little forward and let my left hip get behind my left heel, and now you can see that club head is leading, the handle of the club is leading the club head, right? So if you look at my little pressure map here, right, boom. So I'm looking there, I'm seeing, wow, 90-some%. Now in the golf swing, what's going to happen is you're going to get pressure going forward before your body mass goes forward. So watch this one. Setting up, I'm about 55% of my front foot, which is about where we want to be. See how much pressure went forward? right? That's the feel that we want to have. So I'm going to hit some little shots now with my iron. And notice I have the club way up here. I'm not messing with the ground down there. I'm going to set up. I'm not going to be looking at my pressure this time. I want to be more the way you'll be at home. Okay. Back, through. Right? So I'm going to go back, and before the club completes the backswing, I'm starting forward on my downswing. And I'm starting forward by putting pressure into my lead foot and then getting my hip behind my lead heel, so the pressure is going to go forward and then down to the heel, and there I can see that happening. So another way we can do this without having to have this expensive pressure mat giving you this pretty much perfect feedback, right, is we can go ahead and just think, okay, put that shaft of the club into the impact bag without the club face hitting it. And I'm doing this nice and slow to get a feel for that weight shifting into my front foot before the club gets to impact. All right, then after doing that a little bit, I'll hit some very small little shots. When I do this, I am going to exaggerate a little bit. So I'm expecting to see a lower ball flight, because the more the handle gets ahead of the ball, the less loft is on the club. So let's try that. Of course, the ball's going to fall off of my little grass tee I built, right? Okay. So I'm about 54% on my front side. And that was a solid, low little shot. And I have a pretty good idea I did things right, because at the end, my pressure is on my left foot and my hips have turned through. My right heel has come up a little bit, okay? If you're having trouble with contact, don't just go straight to hitting shots getting this way, because it's very possible for people to come through, make very little weight transfer, and then follow the club to here. Gary Player had like a funny little video about that once, some clinic he did. So work with that impact bag to make sure you have a feel for really doing it correctly. And then hit some very, very small shots. I'll even play this one back in my stance to make it easier to get a feel for it. Hands are way ahead, low ball flight, okay? So in order to help you hit better shots, you've got to make sure that you're getting pressure into your front side really, really early, especially if you're used to hitting that ball back here. And the easiest way to do it is going to be starting without hitting a ball, using an impact bag, or even making practice swings, getting your divot farther forward. I hope that helps. I'll see you next time.